Well, hi there, Internet. My name's Court, and you've got courtside seats for my review of Incredibles 2. Let's do it. Incredibles 2 is an action-adventure animated film from writer-director Brad Bird and Pixar. The film stars Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, Sarah Vowell, Huck Milner, Catherine Keener, Eli Fucile, Bob Odenkirk, Samuel L. Jackson, and Jonathan Banks. Bob Parr, Mr. Incredible, is left to care for Jack, Dash, and Violet, while Helen, Elastigirl, is out saving the world. Before I start talking about Incredibles 2, I want to talk about the short film that screened in front of it, which is called Vowell. The first thing I loved about this short is that it was 5 minutes long, approximately, not 22 minutes like Olaf's Frozen Adventure. It's a pretty bizarre little premise, but you have this Chinese mom who's making steamed buns for breakfast, and as she's eating them, one of them anthropomorphizes itself, comes alive, and she raises it like her son. It's pretty weird. It's a mother-son story, and it's actually very, very sweet, pretty emotional. I got a little bit teary. And the cool thing is, it takes place right here in Toronto. You see Chinatown, you see the CN Tower. That was cool. Anyway, moving on. I haven't seen the first Incredibles since it came out like 14 years ago. I remember really liking it. I didn't love it as much as most people loved it, but I really enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna say that I like Incredibles 2 better than the first one. It's got great action, it's got a lot of heart in the family dynamic, and it's absolutely hilarious. Now, despite the fact that this movie is 14 years in the making, it literally picks up right where the first one ended. So we don't have to spend a bunch of time getting reacquainted with the characters and seeing how they've changed. They haven't changed at all. They're exactly how we remember them, and that's cool because we can jump right into the story. The voice acting in this movie, much like the first one, is top-notch. Most people are reprising the roles that they played in the first one, although Dash is played by a new kid. And then we have some newcomers. We have Bob Odenkirk, who's this sort of industrialist who wants to get the law about supers not being able to be superheroes. He wants to get rid of that because he loves superheroes. I love Bob Odenkirk, and I loved him in the movie. You can hear just joy emanating from his voice. Jonathan Banks also plays a fixer who works for Bob Parr, and so between Bob Odenkirk and Jonathan Banks and him being a fixer, I suspect Brad Bird is a Breaking Bad fan. It makes me like him even more. Catherine Keener is also new to this cast. She's really good. She's a welcome addition as well. Driving me crazy the whole movie because I knew the voice, but I couldn't place it. The action in this movie is fantastic. There is one sequence, it's like a helicopter sequence. I won't say anything more about it. There's a helicopter sequence, which the action in it rivaled some live action movies. The animation is great too. It's updated, obviously, it's almost 15 years later, but they haven't changed the aesthetic that the first film established. It looks better, but it looks really familiar in the best possible way. Now, much of the movie, particularly most of the action beats until the third act, focuses on Elastigirl, and all that's really good. But the subplot of Mr. Incredible being at home and trying to take care of the kids is amazing. He's getting all domestic. He's having to deal with Dash, who's being taught new math in school, which Bob doesn't understand. He's got to help with that. He's got to help Violet with boy troubles, and that's all very funny. And he's got to take care of Jack, who is now really starting to manifest his powers. And this subplot was the highlight of the movie for me. Bob has, the 3 o'clock shadow. He looks completely out of his element. He looks totally burnt out, and it's absolutely hysterical. I will also say this, Jack is straight up the standout character in this movie. He is so good. And that raccoon, watch out for that raccoon. You'll see what I mean.
Rakins.
Now, for a couple of negatives that I had, the pacing does lag at times during this movie. There are parts where it really kind of slows down and gets a little bit dull. And I will say I didn't love the villain. This villain is called Screenslaver, and he uses the various screens that we use in our daily lives to hypnotize people to do his will. And it's kind of an observation about how we're all addicted to our screens and our devices, but it isn't explored very well, so it just kind of comes off as trivial. But literally that's it. The pacing and the villain was kind of weak. Those are my only issues. I think Syndrome in the first movie was a considerably better villain. He was much more fleshed out. But those are two pretty small qualms I have for a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. Like I said at the top, it's got great action, the animation is beautiful, the voice acting is great, it's absolutely hilarious, and the family dynamic, the heart that comes from that, you're gonna be smiling all the way through this movie. Now, I don't have a proprietary rating system as of yet, so I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna give Incredibles 2, and I think I'm gonna give Incredibles 2 a...
Call me, Saul Goodman. The world needs to know about you and your business. Call me now.
Out of 10. So now I want to know, have you seen Incredibles 2? What did you think about it? What is your favorite Pixar film of all time? Whatever your thoughts, hit the comments below. Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this review, please smash that like button and give it a share if you really enjoyed it. And hey, why not take a second, do me a favor, click subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews, entertainment news, trailer reactions, all that good stuff. You can do so by clicking the Courtshake logo at the bottom right of your screen. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.